Richard, I thought everyone knew exactly what he meant when he made it known, not just to the people in Arkansas, but around the country, that he was committed to Eric Musselman's program. What was the mood in the room like? You could hear the jubilation when he made the announcement.
Oh, no doubt. Everybody there was obviously hoping he would go to Arkansas, or at least 95% of the crowd, I would say. But it was obviously a big night for Coach Musselman and his staff. You get the highest rated prospect, and since the recruiting services started back in the early 2000s, obviously Corliss Williamson was the number one player in the country when he came out, but that was before the recruiting services started up. But when you get a guy like that, other people notice. I noticed Jordan Walsh, who obviously is high on Arkansas's list, and another ESPN 5-star. Noticed him making a tweet with some doing some eyes. Obviously, he saw the news, and he's still considering Arkansas very strongly, along with Anthony Black, another highly rated prospect out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But the people in there were obviously, very happy. They called the Hogs soon afterwards, and Jordan and his family, Nick and his family joined in, and typical big commitment announcement after they announced for Arkansas. There's a Hog call, and everybody's happy, and you could tell that Nick and his dad and his family were kind of relieved to get it out of the way. And
as usual, and as expected, there was a response from Eric Musselman and his staff and everyone associated with the program. While they can't officially comment, they comment without commenting, Richard, and I'm always amazed how they make a social media splash. They don't just drop a few rocks in the pond and make a ripple. They throw boulders, and last night they were jumping in the pool. They were using Nick's hashtag. Eric Musselman, without saying anything, made his presence felt on social media to make Nick and everyone in his party know that they welcomed him to the program.
Yeah, I retweeted. I don't know how many I retweeted, but I tried to find every one of the basketball programs. People in the staff and obviously the players. They had one that was tweeted out, and it lets the kid know that, hey, this is a big deal. We're happy to have you part of the program, and they get a kick out of this stuff, and it's good. It's good for the parents too, but it's also a good way of saying, yeah, we're going to win ball games, and we're going to work hard. And we're gonna be very intense and doing what we're doing and trying to be the best basketball program we can be. But also we're going to have fun, and I think that really resonates with kids today because hey, let's face it. If you play major college football, basketball, it's a grind. It's basically like a job. But if you can have a coach that can lighten the mood once in a while and have some fun, I think that's a good thing.
So if you saw the hashtag living the life, that's what that was about last night. So if you're an old guy like me and you don't know what a hashtag is, maybe would be what living the life means. That was all about Nick Smith last night. I'm just intrigued, Richard, how Musselman and his staff find ways not to do one, but not two, but three. There were probably 10 plus videos from his assistants. His son did one. The team did one, as you said, and they're all different, have a different angle. And then every time something big like this happens, they find a different way to do it different and make it entertaining and refreshing. That I find that really engaging how they find a way to keep it fresh with their social media and to make every player feel special.
And it's not something they just think about and okay, 5 seconds later.
It's not willy-nilly.
Do this.
No.
I mean, there's a lot of planning, and you got to have somebody videos all this stuff, and then. I'm looking at Muss as getting off the airplane, right? I'm not going to lie. It had me cracking up.
You think you could walk like that? You think you could walk with that kind of swag?
Oh, I could do that.
Could you pull off the red suit?
I don't know about that, but I mean, he's just a natural. I mean, he could. Yeah. If he wasn't a coach, he could go into the movies. I think he could really be a guy that could really especially comedies. I mean, because he's got good facial expressions and stuff like that. And he's an entertainer.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun. All right, let's talk about Nick Smith. Making some comparisons to best players since Corliss Williamson to come to Arkansas in this state. I think if you look more recently, now this was not a player that came to the state. I think a lot of people go to the name Malik Monk. Now he went to Kentucky, obviously, but just thinking about great players you got to see in our state. Moses Moody was a player that's from Arkansas but didn't play high school basketball in his final years in our state. I'm assuming you would instantly put Nick in this same conversation, this same category.
In fairness, because of COVID, I wasn't able to see him as much. I was trying to go to some summer events this year, and because of COVID restrictions, the amount of media was reduced, so I wasn't able to see Nick as like I was some of the other guys. But just the film that you see, I mean, he can do it all: score, going to the basket, mid range, can take you off the dribble. Obviously good length at 6'5", 185. Hit the three. Just he's an elite scorer. Everybody that's seen him play multiple times says he's an elite scorer, and that obviously that doesn't mean that you have to be a great shooter all the time. If you're not hitting from outside, he can score in other ways. So I mean he's definitely up there. Obviously, it's number 6 in the country, according to Paul Benincardi. And Paul, I was talking to him right before the announcement, and he loves Nick's skill set. And then, in talking to Johnny Rice, North Little Rock basketball coach, he just talks about Nick being such a competitor, probably the most intense competitor he's ever been around in a short period of time, because he's only been a part of the North Little Rock program for a few months. Mm-hmm. So you add a guy that has that type of talent and has that. I'm not going to compare him as a player or anything, but the same attitude that Michael Jordan had when he was playing. He was so intense and such a competitor that made him even better than what he normally would be if he just had kind of a lackadaisical attitude. And with Nick, he's going to maximize his potential.
All right, so you look at the 22 class right now. You got a 5-star with Nick Smith, 3 4-stars with Darian Ford, Barry Dunning, and Joseph Pinion. All 4 of those players right now are inside the top 100. So, Richard, you look at what's being built and the momentum up there. Tell me why this isn't a program being built right now that's a legitimate contender, not only to win the SEC regular season, but also to make a legitimate run at a Final Four.
It's hard not to have that kind of optimism, because obviously the Elite Eight last year, what you got on campus right now, and what you have coming in next year as far as this recruiting class, and they're not done. Jordan Walsh, who's a top 10 prospect according to ESPN, is still on the table, and Arkansas is very much still in the mix. Anthony Black, he's a top 25 prospect, and so if they get one, say you get Jordan or Anthony, that's huge. If Coach Musk could somehow get both, we're seeing something at Arkansas. Well, you get one, you're seeing something at Arkansas you haven't ever seen. But if you get 2, I mean, it's a historical type class, even from a national perspective.
Yeah, because the projections I'm seeing last night were like number 3 class in the country. I can't imagine they're not going to move up from number 3 if you added 2 5-stars, right?
Yeah.
How do you not move up? I'll
be honest with you. I thought we talk about this a lot about the potential of this basketball program under Coach Muss, and I said it on our message board a few months ago. I could see, and it's tough to even win one national championship, but I could see this program possibly winning multiple national championships. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but the possibility is there, because you have a coach and a coaching staff that's top tier, and then they're top tier in their ability to recruit. That you get that combination, and all things are possible.
Just seems like everything's everything's coming up right now. Everything's coming up roses. Football right now back in the top 10 for the first time in a decade. You've got baseball that continues to be one of the nationally elite programs, and then basketball. It's like we're all living in a dream right now after having such tough times with football and everything but baseball as far as the three major sports. So it's a great time on the Hill right now. All right, let's talk about football before they take our liquor license away here. Joey Sua, Bentonville left tackle, earlier this week, and kind of about this time of the morning, a little earlier than this, committed to Arkansas. This is the kid from California whose mom took a job with the Walmart front office. He moved in, over the summer, early to midsummer, and now he has fallen in love with the Razorback program. He's going to play for Sam Pittman.
Yeah, 6'4", about 319 pounds, and he's a guy that, and talking to Tony Cherico, obviously, who played at Arkansas, who's the defensive line coach at Bentonville. He said, I was at the first game of the year for Bentonville, and he just walked by and he said, "This guy's real." And you look at his film; he's very aggressive, moves well. He'll play guard at Arkansas, but what a move in! I was talking to Coach Grant when he moved in, and I said, "You have move-ins, and then you have this type of move-in, and to be able to have somebody like that come into your program is huge." But Arkansas did a great job as soon as he got into town, got into Northwest Arkansas, got him to visit on July the 31st for that cookout, and he's been to 2 games earlier this season against Texas A&M and Rice. And he just connected with Coach Pittman and Coach Kennedy, and they did such a great job of making him feel comfortable. And I kind of felt that this is the direction he was going to go, but didn't know when he was going to do it. But it's a big pickup because he's a very talented kid who if he had not committed early, he would have had 20, 30 offers. He's that good, and he already had Oregon, Michigan State, Georgia, and several others that had offered him.
Update us on the numbers where we're looking at right now, because I know there could be some fluctuation with the 22 numbers if that waiver gets passed or the 1-year exemption to up that number to like 32. I know a lot of the work the coaches are doing now is on 23s. Kind of give us some updates on where we're at with 22s and already some of the early commitments with 23s.
Yeah, we got you got 3 commitments for the 23 class, and I think Caleb James from Nolan Fort Worth High School, who I talked to Thursday when I was down in Dallas Fort Worth. I think he's a potential to jump on board at some point. He's a 4-star, 6'5", 250 defensive end / defensive tackle. So if he jumped on board, that would be 4, and that's a good start for the 23 class. You got 18 for the 22 class. Probably sign about 3 or 4 more guys, and then hold the rest for portal guys. Hope for another Ridgeway or Trey Williams or somebody like that. But and then, like you were alluding to, if that legislation passes and they're able to replace guys that leave the program and go to the portal, obviously that could open up more spots for especially high school guys.
Yeah, and I know you've written about it coming off that big win in Arlington, 4 million plus. Watch that game. You've seen kind of a rising tide with the recruiting. I don't know how big Georgia is. I know that they've got several on staff. They got ties in Georgia. We know Sam Pittman does from his 4 years there, and he's brought some from the staff there. I can't imagine playing in Georgia in the plus this weekend, and you hope to fare well there and maybe turn some heads in that part of the Southeastern Conference this weekend.
No doubt. As a matter of fact, I was talking to a parent of a top prospect from the state of Georgia, and they plan to visit Arkansas at some point. And a large part of that has to do with Jimmy Smith, the running backs coach, and the relationship that they have. So Jimmy Smith, I mean, he's I'm not going to say he's a legend, but he's pretty close to it in the state of Georgia. He's such a highly respected coach, former high school coach in Georgia. You got Scott Fountain recruited the state of Georgia during his time at several other colleges, but so the ties are there. And obviously with Coach Pittman, he's got a good name in that state too. So yeah, hey, you go in there and you beat Georgia. some of the prospects in Texas that maybe were out of reach until you beat Texas and Texas A&M are maybe on the board. You might have the same with some Georgia prospects. You just never know.
All right, circling back to the story of the day, Nick Smith. We'll close it out on this one. Biggest Arkansas commitment since?
You talking about all sports or just basketball?
Just basketball.
Just basketball. I mean, it's easy to say Bobby Portis because he was the highest rated since 2013. B.J. Young back, he was number 16 in 2011 when John Belfry was there. That was pretty big. So I think you have to go with those guys. That's who I'd go with. And
him and Khalil Ware playing together this year should be fun watching some North Little Rock teams or North Little Rock games. Play when they get in your part of the state or playing a team in your town this year. I know they got some out-of-state teams that are going to play in some events this year, so it should be fun watching those two play together as well. RD, you're the best. Appreciate your time this morning.
All right, buddy. We'll see you, Tommy. Take care.
Richard Davenport with us breaking down some recruiting and Nick Smith's announcement last night. Some football.
We're back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your number one spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the number one source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of these amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.